Blog Talk Radio.
He took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. By some, he's been called controversial.
I'll keep my freedom, I'll keep my guns, try to keep my money and my religion too. Now, keep in mind that some of my guests have been approached by Homeland Security or FBI saying, why are you going on the Clay Douglas show?
My message to those guys, if they're listening this morning, is go get a cup of coffee. Maybe you'll learn something.
We both took the same oath, to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I don't recall there being an expiration date on that. I'm going to keep my big DA, keep my friends the same, keep the government out of my business, and y'all can keep the change.
He is the free American, Clay Douglas.
We know what we need. We know who to blame.
Catch the Free American Hour, weekdays at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern.
I'll keep the USA and y'all can keep the change.
For the podcast and more details, visit www.freeamerican.com or catch the podcast by phone by calling 832-999-8621.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American Hour. I'm your host, Clayton Douglas. My guest today is William Gheen with the Americans for Legal Immigration. How are you, William?
It's a little hard to hear you, Clay. Can you adjust your little come across a little distorted on my phone?
Okay.
There you go. You're a little bit better.
All right. Well, hopefully it'll get better because I really don't have much control over that. But I'll lean a little closer to the mic. I hope you can hear me all right.
Yeah, you're a little bit clearer now. Thank you.
All right, sir. William. Now, first of all, let me ask you about your operation, Americans for Legal Immigration. You've been pretty outspoken and you've been pretty effective at getting the information out and very accurate in everything that I've seen. What's the situation with the whole illegal situation, the whole illegal right now?
Well, it's a pretty bad situation where a lot of people out there are pretty demoralized, and they're decreasing their political activities because they're under siege economically, spiritually, a lot of different ways across the country. And some of them are thinking, that they need to prioritize on bailing the water out of the boat, the water that's at their feet in the boat. And they're not as engaged in politics and things. Second of all, Obama has really demoralized a lot of people into a what does it matter kind of thing because the Tea Party congressional successes were not what they had hoped to be since they were stopped in the Senate by what we believe to be massive illegal immigration, felony fraud votes in Nevada, Colorado, California, and Washington State. We believe that the illegal immigrant vote block at the behest of the Obama administration saved the Democrats in the Senate west of the Mississippi. So you have a potentially illegitimate election in the Senate. You have a president that no longer deserves the title of president, deserves the title of dictator because he's decided to bypass Congress and create a form of amnesty that is unlawful and unconstitutional without having ever passed it through Congress. So the same legislation that Americans for Legal Immigration PAC has helped to fight and come up with the key and core strategies to defeat several times in the past 6-7 years that we've been doing this, has been blown away by a dictator, an authoritarian regime that has come to power here in the United States that just makes amnesty for illegal immigrants. And if Obama's contempt couldn't be any clearer towards the American public and the masters that he serves, Congress is still puttering around, and Darrell Issa is doing a great job of trying to get to the bottom of it, but it's pretty clear that the executive branch has used 6 different agencies involved, and in my opinion, that could only happen with direct White House. That type of level of coordination can only happen with White House assistance. But the DEA, ATF, FBI, DOJ, believe the NSA at this point, have all been involved in, using our tax money to sell assault rifles to an invading force of illegal immigrant and cocaine and methamphetamine smugglers. So a lot of people out there are blown away. We're still trying to carry the fight forward at ALIPAC.us. We've got a new website that just came online. We are the largest archive of information in existence on the topic of illegal immigration. And just sitting there with that amount of information on the web, every day, talk radio show hosts, citizens that want to find out more about what's going on, reporters, lawmakers, police officers, access our archives and our materials in order to better inform themselves about the fight against illegal immigration. We've just revamped that, but as you're aware, a large part of our web presence has been blown away because our Google account, our Google YouTube account was hacked. With Google YouTube assistance, we were hacked. Over 115 videos blown down that have been viewed over 4.3 million times already. A web channel on YouTube that was the largest and most influential web channel, video channel or collection of videos in the world as far as fighting against illegal immigration goes, have been offline.
Now you've turned this. You've called in the FBI on this. How did this happen? Maybe give us a little bit more details. I know you only got 30 or so minutes here with me, and I don't want to skip over any points. But what is happening to you? I mean, I have had my whole website, and anybody that happened to be on the same server as mine basically just wiped out at one point in time. Right after I got out of the hospital, suddenly my whole website was gone, and they bought the hosting company that was hosting all the websites and stole all the equipment and turned around and left. So how did Google and how did YouTube conspire in this?
I received a message at two email messages around 1:15 p.m. on Sunday, January 15th. That's right in the heart of the holiday weekend for Martin Luther King Day, which was the next day. I received an email from Google about my account. Usually, if you're a member of any type of website and you or anyone else wants to change the password or tries to access it too much, you'll receive a courtesy email saying that someone's requested a password change or something like that. And if that was you, click on this link and let us know that was really you and that you authorized this change. If this wasn't you, don't worry about it. It won't happen. Well, Clay, I've received a lot of those emails over the last 7 years that I've managed the world's largest archive of information about illegal immigration in existence. But I've never received an email like the one I received from Google that Sunday the 15th. It said, someone has decided to change your email in association with your account. If this was you, don't worry about it. We've already processed it. If it wasn't you, click here and go to our confusing help menu to see what you might be able to do about someone else using your account. It told me that the email on our Google/YouTube account, the controlling email, had been changed from my email of the last 7 years, the email directly associated with our well-known National Association's domain name, WilliamG@ALIPAC.us. The same email that had been used on this YouTube account since 2007 had been changed to a Hushmail account, BillyXTC@Hushmail.com. And as I fought to try to figure out what was going on and try to get back control of my YouTube account, they did a password reset with the new email, changed the password, locking me out of my own YouTube account, sending me to ask Google to change it back. And they went in, defaced the account with, removed our materials, defaced our account, deleted 115 videos that were being watched on average between 4,000 and 8,000 times per day to the tune of 4.3 million views. Videos that include the illegal immigrants attack on Congressman Tom Tancredo's event here at UNC Chapel Hill that I filmed, that ran on every major network in the country. Every news appearance I've done on CNN, CBS, Fox, MSNBC, all gone. several major talk radio interviews around the country, all gone. Several major speeches, including my Revolution Now America speech in Houston at the Tea Parties in front of 15,000 people. That a lot of people credit with being very influential and stuff like that. All of that is gone. Gone. Now, since then, we've learned that A, Google has the power to restore the account, and that B, they usually do restore people's accounts, but it takes a while. We're on day 17 now, and what we've done is we've filled out their hijacked account form 7 times. We have faxed in letters to 10 different Google offices around the country. We have sent in 2 or 3 certified letters to the most local Google office, and of course Google located their office in the most liberal town in North Carolina, UNC Chapel Hill. We sent in certified letters. We've then escalated to a national press release, and we've called on the FBI to come in, and we've gotten a response from them yet, because so far, I mean, I hope they'll do the right thing here, because we're a victim of cybercrime, but the message generally is that illegal immigrant invasion supporters can do whatever they want to Americans, but Americans, we don't get any help when they do it. If you or me or anybody listening to the show decides to write an evil email to the National Council of Raza, Maldan for LULAC that's overly threatening, they'll find themselves facing successful federal prosecution and jail time. That's how that works. We've watched, about 4 or 5 different court cases of people that are supposed to be on our side of the illegal immigration issue, that are grumpy vets that drink or something like that, that write in nasty emails, that are doing federal time right now for nasty emails. But on our side, people can threaten to kill me, like has been done by Porter Monroe Korn of Immigration Clearinghouse, can advocate that people, kill me by shoving a grenade up where. He can print that online and attack our website on a regular basis, and then some hacker can come in and just completely violate our civil rights, and the FBI sits there twiddling their thumbs.
And if you're, I'm not quite sure how it's related, but if you're Jewish, you can advocate assassinating our president. I mean, what is going on here? This is almost insanity. But I've studied history, and I've seen things like this happen before in history. Alexander Solzhenitsyn over in Russia talked about the takeover of the communists. The aliens were run in on them, just like are being run in on us, and they ended up incarcerating or killing 60 million white Christian Russians. I think it's happening right here, right now. Over 50,000 people since 9/11 have been murdered in the United States by illegal aliens. Most of our prison population, 40% of our prison population, is illegal aliens. And they are attacking you, and I advocated starting a militia, so I got attacked by these same people, groups. I've referred to this many times throughout my 20 years of broadcasting, that we're in a war. And that war is getting right. More real and more evident. I mean, when they have just suspended posse comitatus so they can bring in the troops to use them against us. They've flooded the nation with millions and millions and millions, or more than they certainly count, of illegal aliens that are responsible for almost 90% of our crimes and murders. That's somehow... that has to be a war on the American people.
It is, and there's I'll have to find the article, but there was a Washington Times article about how a Pentagon analyst, a private contractor, had studied some of what's happening with the U.S. economy and found direct forensic evidence that what's happening to us is being exacerbated by the Russian and Chinese militaries and what they described as Islamic states, probably Saudi Arabia. People need to understand, as they're out there trying to say, oh, Lord, what do I do? I can't do anything. I'm just going to run over the hills. I'm just going to focus on my own personal problems. I'm not going to, support this radio show or support groups like ALIPAC or write my Congress. I'm too busy. They think they can duck And in their mind, they want to tell themselves, oh, Romney's going to be better, or that things are going to get better because the country goes through cycles of good times and bad times and good times and bad times. Now, that's true. Most of your life, as you grow older, depending on how long you live, you're going to go through good times and bad times. You're going to go through times when you're sick, and then you get better, and then you get sick again, and you get better. But then the time comes one day in your life when you get sick, and you might not know it that first time you get sick. You might not know it the first time you feel the pains. You might not know it, the first time you see the spot on your arm. You might not know it the first time you start coughing and wheezing, but it's the last time you're going to get sick, because you're going to get sick and you're never going to get back up again. The same thing happens for most of the life forms on this planet. This is our state of being. That is the state for countries and nations. And we're in a situation here where this country is sick. It's very ill. It's on life support. It's on credit, last of the credit, IV life support. And it may never get back up again because there are people injecting poison into this thing, into the thing in our arm here, people, keeping us sedated and keeping us, the patient, calm like a hospice care worker. And the United States is being destroyed from the inside out. The only way that you would ever want to destroy the United States. And the executive branches are the same. And where, people are praying that somebody like Romney's going to be better, and Romney's a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, and if you look at his immigration plan, it's Bush too.
And by the way, Romney, his money comes from Bain Investments, which controls Clear Channel. I mean, the major corporations have bought up all of our communications. So the only thing you're going to get from Rush Limbaugh or Glenn Beck or anybody that's on this whole Clear Channel network is approved propaganda.
Well, that, and, I can tell you right now, when you stand up against Google and you have to say anything about Google messing with you, like we've had to do in the last 17 days, a lot of people's so-called friends and allies don't show up for the fight. They're scared of Google because Google can put their thumb on the scale, if they're not already putting their thumb on the scale, and put you in the dark. If you're trying to run a political group like ALIPAC.us or a business or anything like that, if Google wants to have some H-1B guy that they just picked up from India in the last 6 months, put his thumb on the scale and push you down, no one will ever see you. No one will ever know you're there. They can completely destroy you, and it's a power so strong you can't even resist it, and it's getting stronger every day. There was one thing that Google told me I could do to stop my account from being raped again, Clay, and said I could give them a cell phone number for them to text and figure out what my cell number was and add an extra layer of security for me so I wouldn't get raped as quickly next time.
Yeah, somebody just mentioned that, said it makes it nearly impossible to hack unless they have your cell there.
Well, YouTube, Google is claiming that they need my cell to send me text messages in case somebody tries to change this again. The truth of the matter is they should have never, ever changed my master controlling email without my direct authorization, especially not so quickly. And so it's either a failed Google YouTube policy that everybody out there listening has a YouTube account. Doesn't matter if there's a picture of your grandkids on it, okay? They're going to change the email to somebody else that just sends in a request without your authorization. It was either that or there was a black hat attack against ALIPAC conducted with the assistance of either the Google higher-ups or Google employees. Now, we have seen our illegal immigration invasion supporting opposition on websites like Immigration Voice and stuff like America's Voice and places like that. We've seen them conspire in the open. Hey, we need to get some more Google employees working with us behind the scenes over here, they say. Hey, we're looking to deal with ALIPAC specifically. Hey, does anybody know anybody else that works with Google? We're trying to get some Google people, together. Google hired, I believe, the Anti-Defamation League. They employed the ADL. Some of the biggest illegal immigration invasion supporters in America have been employed by Google to help them with, quote, hate.
No way. I mean, the ADL has been after me since I started the militias around the country. What part of the Second Amendment don't they understand? William. I mean,
Well,
they tell you I started the militia. They just don't bother to mention that I did it in the governor's office.
Well, the ADL
Oops.
made it very clear they hate us. They hate our guts. They will lie about us, and they want us silenced, and they want other people to think we're silenced. And here they are in a position of power inside of Google. And apparently, if Google YouTube does something to you, you can't call an office, you can't talk to anybody, you can't get a return fax, you can't get a return certified letter, you don't get anything. And listen, everyone out there listening needs to understand what I'm experiencing, what ALIPAC is experiencing right now, the frustration of having 4 years of hard work in video format wiped off the face of the map and not being able to get any help. This is the American future. This is how what were once free and American citizens are going to live under the corporate governmental thing that's coming here. This is how you're already being treated. This is the future. Impoverished, enslaved American citizens that the powers that be can do anything they want to us. They can control our speech, take this away from us, give us this, destroy that, whatever. And when you try to reach out and you ask for help or any type of, common courtesy, you get voicemail systems and a big wall of immigrants and foreign nationals in other countries acting like prison guards. They don't have to answer you. We're the 3rd largest national organization fighting illegal immigration in country. We're on CBS, Fox, NBC. We haven't been on there in a while, but we've been on all these. We're quoted regularly by the New York Times, Boston Globe. We're working with over 100 members of Congress, and we can't get our account back, and we can't get an answer from YouTube. What hope?
They have me blocked.
Citizen have?
They have my website, freeamerican.com, blocked in every library and in major corporations like Intel or Intuit. They say I'm a porno site, and I've tried to get it reversed. I'm on an abusive host blacklist. I mean, I've been doing radio for 20 some odd years, and I've been on worldwide shortwave. I've been on AM and FM stations. I've been publishing for 20 years. I've never been sued for libel or slander, and yet you can't get my site, and you can listen to my radio show in a library.
Well, this is how, this is how everybody's going to live. This is how everybody's going to live. People think right now that they have a choice of not living this way if they simply don't engage in the fight against illegal immigration, if they bow down and act like good slaves and cower and scramble under the rock, that they're going to face this type of thing. No, they're just not facing up to this type of thing. They're like not addressing the problem. They don't want to look at the cancer. They don't want to realize or face the fact that it's there. And by not engaging, they don't have to deal with the painful facts of their slavery. Me, I'm fighting back. You're fighting back. These people that aren't fighting back really need to get on board, because it is a war, and the price of inaction, and of course the action that I speak of, I have to be, speak like an attorney at every single step, is peaceful, political, civic action, which so many people say it's beyond that, but the people who say it's beyond that have never even tried, or not trying hard enough, or not enough. People, people call me and write me all the time and say, William, how is it that the President of the United States, or, this guy Obama, how can he do these things and get away with it? How can he pass an amnesty for illegal, or not even pass it, how can he create an amnesty for illegal immigrants with a memo, and nobody does anything? How can he sell all these weapons, or just, buy all these weapons with tax money for the cartels, and nobody does anything, and nobody does anything? It's not that nobody's doing anything. I'm trying to do something. The reason is, the answer to all of your questions is point blank, because not enough Americans have stood up to make a change. That's why.
I just want to stay below the radar. I just don't want to call attention to myself. I mean, I hear that all the time. People are afraid to understand and accept what's going on, because that requires, if you realize what's going on, then you're kind of required to do something. And they don't want to invest. They don't want to buy our books. They don't want to support. They don't want to make donations. I just sent out an email talking about my next book that I'm doing, and I've decided I've kind of had it up to 20 years with telling everybody the facts about what's happening. I've decided I'm going to write science fiction from now on. William.
Right.
Maybe I can get that published, huh?
Well, yeah, good luck with that, Clay.
But you know,
let's say something positive here. I mean, you know, we've got so many thousands of people that are fighting back right now, and they're not going away. They're not giving up. They've got this real American spirit, which is no surrender. We're Americans. We don't quit. We don't surrender. You know, we keep on trucking, and you know, we fight even when it's not popular to be fighting or that others quit. That's what that's made America great, and that's what people have to do. And people are doing that. You know, of course, anybody listening out there that wants to take some real action here, and to support some folks that have a successful track record in lots of state and federal legislation battles fighting against illegal immigration, we're at www.alipac.us. It's alipac.us. We'd certainly appreciate people getting on our email alerts and joining our network to help us fight back.
And I would appreciate it if you sent this show, the link to this show on Blog Talk Radio, send that out to everybody on your list and let them hear you. I appreciate what you're doing. You know, you're right. You know, we may be just, you know, small organization, one person here, but the information that you're putting out, the information I'm putting out by having you on my show is accurate and important information, and people need to realize that we do have to take a little bit of responsibility. You know, remember Benjamin Franklin walked out of that meeting and was asked by a lady on the street, what form of government have you wrought for us, Mr. Franklin? He said, a constitutional republic, ma'am, if you can keep it. That's where we're at, isn't it? Every plank on the Communist Manifesto is intact in America and has been for the last 50 or 60 years. So it's about time we actually do something about that and start thinking about this. When you ask yourself, what happened in Russia? How did they kill 60 million white Russians? How did they starve 10 million people to death in the breadbasket of Russia, the Ukraine? How did they do that? They did it the way they are doing it now. They've killed 50,000 of you from the illegals they've allowed to come up here. And I've had Border Patrol agents tell me, William, we could have stopped it, Clay. We could have stopped it. We could have stopped the drugs. We could have stopped the illegals. They won't let us. And it goes all the way to the top.
A recent report. While Janet Napolitano of the Department of Homeland Security goes around telling everybody that the border is now more secure than ever before, a recent report showed that 95% of the people that try to get across the borders of the United States illegally, some of them get caught by Border Patrol and have to try again the next night or two, but 95% are getting through. And the rest of the world knows it. And for all those people out there that think you can lay down and not fight, let me remind you of an estimate that there's over 1 billion people on this planet that will come here if allowed. And those 1 billion people are figuring out and hearing more stories every day. So that 95% get through. And when you get here, you'll have somebody like Mitt Romney trying to say we'll give them a guest worker permit, and people like Newt Gingrich saying we'll let you stay if you're 25 years, and Obama says I'll just let you stay. So, you know, we've got to change this, folks. And
now,
if you
one of the
try
things,
to picture what the United States looks like with 1 billion more people.
One of the themes that I've been talking about this week on my shows, and I just sent this out in an email to everybody. I'm sure you got one. I'd appreciate it if you forward that. I've been talking about the whole drug thing here in America. Now they're bringing the military in. The BATF, our BATF, was sending guns down to the drug cartels in Mexico, who were responsible for killing thousands of Mexicans.